right into it, man. Right into it. So I broke protocol in two ways. First, check in with you guys in about 3 weeks, and then this set right here, man. Let's just get straight to it. Um, I went off my program basically. Wanted to break a 11-year-old record. This was so 7 plates, which is 630, and that's exactly what I loaded there. 41 reps was the record. I thought I had 45. Probably did. But somewhere around rep 25, 26, back of my head just felt like it was split open. First time I've ever experienced a tension headache. But look, man, things must be going well if I'm breaking program, right? Things are going that well to the point where it's like, man, let's just have a little fun. So usually you learn that if things are getting a little sticky, it's like, hey, stick to this plan that you made when you were most objective, right? But things have been going so well that I'm like, you know what? We're recovering on schedule. Everything we want to do is happening. I'm like, let's have a little fun, and that's basically where I've been the last 3 weeks or so. I have about 13 months left of off season. Sounds like a lot, but again, time flies, man. And I know that next prep, I want to put everything into it, man. I do. I feel like I have something to prove that I can get to that next level. And in order to do that, it's not just about the prep, but it's what came before that. And here's the deal. I know, guys, like watching someone off season hard is it's not fun, man. Right? Let's just be honest. Right? You see someone who's like pretty gnarly at the guitar. It's like, hey, yeah, like that's what I want. But not everyone wants to do like be part of the countless hours that go into mastering the guitar, right? So same thing with this, man. I know that off-season bodybuilding can be not very awe-inspiring. I think especially when we're talking about drug-free natural bodybuilding, where things that muscle gaining thing just it's slow enough as it is, and when someone's been training as long as I have, yeah, it's just not the business. However, I will put it down, and and folks will inquire. They will ask, like, "Damn, Bert, how do you do that, man? Tell me a little bit more." I'll be like, "Hey, go back. We have like how many? Like 100, over 100 of these entries, I think, at this point, or close to that, closing in on that, or will for sure by the time we do start that contest prep. And it's like, man, like anything that you might want to master. Let's just say this is just your side chick, and there's something else you want to be fantastic at. I think that's why not a whole lot of people get to ever really master something. It's because it's this part right here, the countless, sometimes they feel thankless hours that you do have to spend on getting every last bit that you can when it comes to your craft. So and again, like things are going well, and I think even for me, man, sometimes the off seasoning can get a little bit hard. And I'm not gonna lie, and I've told you guys this before, that 2018 and 19, I was in a straight funk with this. I was kind of doing the bare minimum. And a lot of it had to do with, so usually outside of the gym, I like to keep myself busy with learning a little something of this, giving that thing over there a try. And I whoever's leading said experience, I'd always be like, man, it's pretty gnarly what you do. Here I am just bodybuilding, right? But again, it took that lockdown, man. Once we were locked down, man, I realized just how important this was to me. And not only that, but I feel like, hey, there's mastery, and then there's what I have going on here that I've been able to get done when it comes to my sport of bodybuilding. And I was definitely not appreciating that enough. So now it's like, okay, hey, like, Bert, what you do is pretty gnarly. And not only like have you mastered it, but you're playing in some weirdly high level. And it's not to toot my own horn. I'm just saying that it's what happens when you do all the hard stuff, all the boring stuff, and honestly just stick to it. And most of the time, you find ways to be enthusiastic about it. And right now, ultra enthusiastic. I mean, look at that, man. The press, uh, the press is going well. Remember, I told you guys that last time we talked, I thought I tore my soleus, my pec was strained, and I think usually that would, had me pretty down in the dumps. But again, just with a refreshed outlook, it didn't do that at all. If anything, in my own head, it just made me really focus a little extra on everything else that I could do. And I kind of did that naturally without necessarily thinking. There's a lot of things that have been taking place, I think, when it comes to my training that there's systems and things that I do routinely. I don't necessarily think that I'm doing them, but they take place. So I was appreciative of what it was that I could do. And I think even now, after every training session on the drive back, I'll talk to myself about like what went well and what I learned today. Anyhow, how you frame things, perspective, that all matters. Also borrowing a little energy from the youth, right? Guys that are just getting started, guys and gals that are just getting started on their journey. So this is my homie Jameson right here, YouTube channel. I'll put it down in the description. Show my dude some love over here. And yeah, took him through my torso day. Call it a torso day just because no one really calls a back and chest day that. But yeah, man, we did everything that I usually do. Gave him the ins and outs as to why I do this, why I do that, and a lot of other lessons in between. Sometimes because I've been here before. So you feel like you're there's this fantasy bubble about like how bodybuilding works, right? It's like the first time you read Arnold's encyclopedia, it's like hey, like yeah, it kind of loses that Disneyland effect once you learn more and more. I know that for me, it just for a minute there it took a little bit of the fun out of it, but if you're really down with your progress and you just want to become a better you, I think once you kind of it's something that you want so that you can progress to where you want to be in the most efficient way possible. So he was a good sport about that because it's like you talk about this, talk about that, and I'm like, well, it doesn't necessarily work that way. So anyhow, fantastic student, Jameson. You absolutely killed it, man. And I look forward to seeing you get your growth on. Speaking of my growth, so this is where we're at, man. Arms and shoulders have been the focus over the last few weeks. Shoulders because I won't say I neglect them, but I don't get everything that I can out of them, and they're a pretty good body part on me. Arms, it's not gifted there, so I need to do everything that I can. And it's been a simple solution. It's like all the volume that I was doing anyways, I'm just doing in the beginning of the week when I am the most freshest. And boy, has it worked. That's been it. So, again, something you can do to bring up those areas that you need to bring up that are a little stubborn on you. First of all, this is with the caveat that everything else is in check. All right, do it first. That's simple. Like we understand that, right? When it comes to a training day, but I think when it comes to the training week, same thing. And man, like so on this contraption here, I'm not going to show you all 17 reps, but I got 17 reps on this day, and I think when I started this training block, I think I was getting like 11, 12. That's a good chunk of reps that I've added. I actually want to see this again. This is why it's so good to record yourself. I think I'm kind of throwing my body into it at a certain point. So I need a side view just to confirm that the progress that I am making. But as soon as I started this set on this day, I was like, oh shoot, like this isn't going to be like 12, 13 reps, man. So little things, man, little things. But yeah, look, I'm healthy for the most part, especially now. Calf is fine, pec is fine. I'm having fun. I'm very enthusiastic about my training and about what it is that I have mastered. And but again, like it's kind of like that question, it's like does anyone really reach their genetic ceiling? Answer is no. And the same thing when it comes to this. I know then every year, still to this day, like I learned something. I learned a few things. I'm like, man, I can't believe I saw it from that perspective last year. So we're gonna keep learning, we're gonna keep growing. And again, I have 13 months. And again, you guys are coming in to tune in. It's me, my basement, with my bodybuilding guitar, messing up here, messing up there. A lot of the same stuff over and over. You know, things that I think would discourage most folks. But you're here because you understand that, right? Because you know that, hey, in order to be really fucking good at something, yeah, you're going to have to sweat the details. Be okay with the slower rate of progression. And just, you know, do the things that are going to make you better over and over and over and over and over, and invest time and patience. So, yes, guys, that's me. That's where I'm at. We'll get rolling with this again because, just I feel really good about my bodybuilding and where it's going, and in turn where I can, what I can teach you guys. And even if these like logs here aren't, window with some calves. Let's throw some calves in here. Even if the off-season logs aren't appreciated quite like the Let's Get Shredded entries, people will come back, they'll check this out, and hey, they'll see that, hey, it wasn't smooth sailing the whole way. We ran into obstacles. It was slow. It was tedious. It was repetitive, but it'll kind of help connect the dots. When it comes to you guys getting your own, and because again, this is why I'm here. This is specifically why I invest time into this journal. So, see you guys next week. Thank you for joining me, and stay healthy, keep training hard, and eat your proteins.